What's up, guys? I'm with my boy Jared here, who is one of my first students ever. And he went from having no real knowledge of how to actually make money online, trying a bunch of different business models and failing with them, and spending a ridiculous amount of money on different coaching programs, courses, etc., to now getting started with info product sales and working with me, landing two remote sales gigs over the last couple months, and making over $2,500 a month and multiple $1,000 days, which is super exciting and super awesome to see. So, in this video, we're going to go over his entire story, how he got started out, what he's doing now, some of the challenges he faced on this journey, some of the wins he experienced, and even some of the future plans he has to keep growing his income. And I just want to show you like a real honest transformation of what it actually looks like if you're able to find success with making money online, because most gurus out there just like fake these or they exaggerate the numbers. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alrighty, what is up, guys? I'm with my boy Jared here, who is one of my first students ever, and we've been working together for the past couple of months here, and just wanted to come on and introduce Jared to the channel, talk about his story and some of the challenges, wins, roadblocks, things like that he's experienced on his journey. So, I guess since we're here, I'll just let you take the first question here. Just run people through like what is your story like? Like what got you even interested in making money online?
Oh man, it's quite a long one. I mean, I grew up in a small town. I've always kind of had like a blue collar mindset. I grew up doing a lot of construction work, landscaping, kind of all the stupid stuff. But also played college baseball. Kind of did a bunch of stuff there. Went to college, and a lot of the time I just spent all of my hours working while everybody else was out doing their stuff. It kind of sucked. I was working, say, 50 hours a week, and everybody else was kind of just hanging out, going about their day. And it kind of upset me a little bit, man. Felt like I was missing out on a lot of things. So,
Yeah.
you know, since I was working 50 hours doing construction, all the things that I didn't necessarily like, I knew that there had to be other ways to make money. So that's really when I started looking up, how to make money online, what kind of other options are out there, because I'd never been exposed to it before. And, I kind of fell into the guru stage of the internet. Everybody was posting all the stuff you can do online and kind of selling you on the dream, but that definitely made me shift my mindset to what was possible.
Yeah, yeah. And kind of walk people through like what have you all tried in regards to making money online? Because I think a lot of people they like find making money online, but it usually takes people, at least it was like this for me, like a good 1 or 2 years to find the actual thing that like they stick with and it actually makes them successful because there's a lot of crap out there.
Right. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I've kind of tried it all. I tried drop shipping, I tried affiliate marketing, I did some like UGC content. I mean, every single thing that I saw, I tried. And that was kind of the bad part about my journey was, like I said, I grew in the age of the guru. So I saw all of these business models and I kind of had flashy object syndrome.
Yep.
I would see one and they were selling me on the dream like, oh, 10 grand in 30 days. And I was like, yes, I'm doing that. And then, 30 days would go by and nothing happened. So I was like, okay, let's hop to another one that they're telling me the same exact thing. And it just leaves you with no progress in any of them. So
Yep.
it took me about, yeah, I'd say a year and a half, 2 years to actually find something that gave me some sort of result that I was looking for.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty vicious cycle just jumping from business model to business model. And then like the problem is you get a little bit of progress in one of them, but it's not enough for you to be like, "Oh my God, this is what I want to do." And then you switch business models, and then all of the time that you spent building your skill and getting experience in that first business model isn't used in the second one. So you have to reset again. And
Exactly.
it's rough for sure. So like, did you have any success in any of these business models? Or like what
I
was
would,
like the best part of it?
you know, I don't think I necessarily found any success in any of them, and it took me a long time to kind of become the person worthy of finding success in a business model. So I think that's the best part of it was I was growing even though the results weren't there. I was been building the skills of, you know, some sort of business model, but then like you said, I take it to another and then it just kind of resets. But
Yep.
I definitely developed, the mindset that I needed. So that's the best part. And I was kind of hard-headed about the fact that, look, I'm going to make this work either way, whether it's with this business model or this one. So it definitely made me kind of resilient and stronger in that way. But yeah,
100%.
you know.
And so over the course of like trying your first couple business models, when you would go to the next one, did you ever have like doubts or thoughts of like, dude, is this stuff even real? Like I just tried a couple different business models. Like, is this even possible? Or were you kind of just like, it's just part of the process, I'll make it work?
In the beginning, I definitely had some like imposter syndrome kind of thing. Like, am I even capable of doing this? Is this like an actual thing? Is this really going to work? Or am I just kind of being told it's possible and then buying programs, kind of thing
Yep.
like that? So, yeah, I mean, but it is part of the process. You kind of sit there and you go back and forth and you kind of question yourself and am I able to do this, is this even possible? But like I said, that's really just part of the process. It's bound to happen, but you got to do it even when you don't think it can work. Even when you're scared, it's about taking action anyways. So that, yeah, that was definitely a big part for sure.
100%, 100%. And can you just give the audience like a good gauge of where you're at now? Like, obviously, we're nowhere near like perfect, making millions, getting the nice cars, all that fun stuff yet. But there definitely has been some progress and some positive momentum. So, give people just like an overview of where you're at right now in terms of money you're making, how you're feeling mentally about everything, clarity, stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, as of right now, we are closest than we've ever been to my short-term goal of being able to leave my 9 to 5 job. So that was like the main thing for me is this online business, all these things. I wanted to be able to kind of replace my 9 to 5 income and be able to go remote and really dive into something. So that's that's kind of, I mean, we're closest that we've ever been. I'm making, I think my biggest month so far has been about 3K.
Mm.
So which is nuts to even think about. Like it's possible online, I never thought that numbers like that would be achievable, but it is. And at this point, I'm just kind of shooting for the consistency to see if it's gonna be legit for me down the road, that I can actually leave my 9 to 5 like I want to. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's been a journey, and it took about what? It's been 5 months for me in this business model as a
Yep.
as a setter, and I don't know, man. We're still trying to grow. We're trying to be a closer here in the next few months, so that's going to be a big step for me for
Yeah,
sure.
man.
Higher commissions, things like that. But no, it's been great. It's been a journey, but I'm loving it.
For sure, for sure. And the problem with a 9 to 5 job is it's soul sucking, it's draining, it's a lot of hard work. But the positive of it is you have that consistency, which you don't really have in online business, to be honest with you. Like I've had months where we make like 50K and then like the next month just shit just falls apart. And that's just kind of like what you have to get used to. But that's awesome, man. And you're making about like 3K right now with your 9 to 5 job, right? Like give or
Yep,
take.
yep.
Okay.
We're making the same number with my online stuff as the 9 to 5.
Sick. So what's like the target or the number that if you make this amount or if you do this for a couple months in a row or whatever that is for you, like where you're just like, all right, screw it. I'm out of the 9 to 5 job.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm pretty comfortable around 3K. That's a good income to take care of the bills and everything like that. But like realistically, to kind of leave the job and be like secure and knowing that I'm doing this full time, this is a thing now, this is gonna pay my bills and take care of responsibilities. I want to be around like 4,000 plus. I like in a perfect world, obviously, I want to be making at least like 5 grand a month. And then the long-term goal, as every single entrepreneur says, is the 10K a month. But yeah, no, if we're hitting 4 to 5, I think is when I'm really gonna start to make a lifestyle change.
Love it. Love it. And I know for me, because I wasn't like working a 9 to 5 job while I was making money online. Like I was here and there, but it wasn't anything like an actual career or anything like that. But for me, when I dropped out of college, all of that effort that I was putting into college, um, after dropping out, like my business exploded because of that, because you can just go all in and just tunnel vision and like no life the business.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
that's 100% something that can happen for you. Can you just give the audience like an overview of how we met? Because I think it's actually a pretty interesting story.
Yeah, definitely. So, oh wow. I mean, it was quite some time ago where obviously I was still in this little entrepreneurship like mindset, and I was sold on a dream by some program and I went all in. I didn't even have the money to pay for the program. I was on a payment plan and I really had to hustle to make the payments. But
And
so
sorry to cut you off, but that was like a program that taught you basically how to build your own coaching business, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So before I had any of the skills, I was like, all right, let's just go all in and try and build a business as a beginner, which, looking back now is not the the greatest path to take, but
Right, right.
I was definitely I was delusional in a way to think that I could just go all in and get it done first try. But yeah, so I was in this online coaching program that was helping coaches scale their online business, and I was trying everything in my power to get it done. And unfortunately, I didn't think that I was going to get it from that program. There were a lot of things that I felt were kind of missing.
Hmm.
So that's when I started looking around at other programs online, and I saw you and Alex for DBA.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, these guys are more my age. Like, I feel like I can connect with them a bit more. I'm gonna, book a call for this. And then obviously you and I hopped on a call, and I just didn't have the funds at the time. So I was like, oh, I gotta save up a little bit,
I didn't close you.
Yeah, yeah, right. I was a tough customer. But
Yeah.
yeah, I hit you with the money objection. But yeah, I didn't have it, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take some time to save up here. I'm gonna continue working, and we'll see where we end up. And in that amount of time where I was kind of saving my money and had your program on the back end, I was like, okay, dude, you have no idea how to actually run a business. You don't know anything about like content, marketing, anything like that. So you need to take a step back and build the actual skill set. So I was like, okay, let's take the sales route of online programs and things like that. So which brought me, I think you actually texted me one day as like a
I
follow.
think I was doing my follow-ups. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you hit me up with a follow-up one day, and I was like, actually taking a little hiatus from the business model, and I'm taking a break, and I'm gonna go the sales route. And you said, okay, here, like this is great because I'm actually helping guys exactly like you. Can I take that route and show you how to do it like in a beginner-friendly kind of way?
And
So
that was like a month after my program started. This was like the very beginning.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I was like the fifth or sixth person in there, so it
Yeah,
was pretty
yeah.
sweet. But yeah, it worked out perfect. I mean, it was literally like within the same week that I made the decision to take a step back is when you hit me with a follow up. So it worked out perfect.
That's that universe timing.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy how that happened. It's pretty coincidental, but hopefully it ended up working for you and
Definitely.
you've enjoyed it so far.
Definitely.
And so over the past, I guess, like you said, 5 months or so, we've been in info product sales, maybe like 4 or 5 months, maybe a little bit more, right around that though. Um, you've seen highs, and I'm sure you've seen lows, just like what happened in any business model. What would you say were like some of your biggest wins that like made you feel on top of the world at certain times? And then what were some of like the biggest challenges that you've seen so far that maybe were like a little bit annoying?
Right. Yeah. So I think some of my like biggest wins or the high like peak times was I think the most I've made in a single day is 1,300 bucks. And that's pretty nuts considering like I wouldn't even have been able to achieve that in like, I don't know, 10, 15 days at my 9 to 5 job. So
Yeah,
it's unreal to see that you can do it in a day. So that definitely had me feeling like the man, obviously. But,
of course.
then there's times where it's low and the money's not coming in and, you're doing the work consistently but it's just not showing. So I guess, I mean, you struggle sometimes, and it's definitely hard to continue to put in the work even when it's not showing. But I mean, that's something you got to do if you want to make it. It's not going to happen all the time. So you gotta have that mindset to keep grinding anyways. But no, I think I've definitely faced quite a few roadblocks here, but nothing that we can't get over.
Yeah, for sure. And the problem with a lot of people that are interested in making money online, they think that like your success is just going to keep going up like this. You just more days, more time, and your success is going to keep going up. But it's all over the place, man. Like you're gonna have incredible days where you're feeling on top of the world, and then it's gonna crash and burn a couple days later. That's just the reality. And the
Yeah.
faster you just accept that and just get used to that, the easier it is to deal with it when it does happen, right?
Mhm.
Uh, so 100%. And so before working with me, you paid for the program and it like cost you quite a bit and you had to hustle to get the payment plan done. Um, I don't want to like shit on anybody else or any other programs out there or anything like that, but I guess like from your experience with buying multiple different programs and different, coaching programs, courses, etc., what have you identified as like some of the things that are important in good programs versus some of the things that maybe aren't that good in some of the bad programs?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest one for me would be the community aspect because this program that I was in had like 800 and something members. And you
Mm,
hop on a Zoom call with your mic muted and you have to
yep.
press a button to raise your hand and you're lucky to get called on because there's 500 other people trying to do the same thing. So you do not receive the help that you actually need. And then it just kind of feels like you're sitting there watching modules all day
Right.
and it's not solving, the issues that you are experiencing. It may, have some pieces of advice and things like that, but it's not the help that you actually need to get off the ground in some sort of way. So yeah, definitely the community and being small, like a small group of people that are all driven, have the same mindset. It's great to have buddies around that you can text like me and Michael. We're always talking. Like
Yep.
it's a good time and it's been huge for, my journey so far to have the help that I need, especially in the Zoom calls and being able to have an actual conversation with you and you even know my name. So that's pretty nuts versus the other programs. And
They just
yeah,
see
I
you as
think
like another number, basically.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm just a name on the list for them. So
Right. Yeah. So you would say it's more about just having like a tight knit group rather than a program that has like 500, 1,000 people all in there, and it's like you can't even manage that amount of people. Like I know I couldn't. If I had like 500 students, I'd be losing my mind.
oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, for sure. And so over the course of trying a bunch of different business models, maybe having some bad investments in different programs, I'm sure, like you mentioned earlier at the start of this call, like your mentality and your perspective has changed quite a bit. I guess like how has your mentality and perspective changed about number one, like making money online, but also just life in general? Like
Mhm.
what have you learned through some of the pain and the difficulties you experienced?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start by saying, man, it is so easy to quit. And that's why a lot of people, don't succeed. That's why you call them the 1%, because those people genuinely are too stubborn to quit. And I
Yep.
feel like I'm one of those people now. But it would have been so easy for me to just, pay for the one program and me not like the result that I got from it. And that could have just been that. And I would
Yep.
have went back to working my 9 to 5 and that would have just been life. But I definitely knew that I did not want that, and that can't be life. So it definitely made me real stubborn in the fact that I'm gonna make this work no matter what. And safe money don't make money. So if I'm not investing in myself, then it's not gonna work. I just gotta find a program that's gonna give me the result that I want. And it was great. I mean, to find you for real, like that was the only thing that actually kept me on track because maybe, I mean, if I invested in the first program, invested in you and still didn't work, then I definitely could have totally just called it quits there.
I mean, yeah, like if you just invest in a bunch of different stuff and you're trying for like 10 years, even the most stubborn people in the world might quit.
Yeah,
So
it's a little tough at that point.
yeah. And so what's like the long-term goal for you? I know you mentioned getting 5K, quitting your job, getting to 10K per month, but do you eventually want to get to the point where you're like running your own business and you can like kill that past version of you that tried
Mhm.
the coaching business and failed, or like what's like the goal for you?
Yeah, definitely. I do want to launch my own info product business one day. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I definitely do have a long-term vision to eventually launch my own thing here because I mean, I'm building the skill set and learning all the ins and outs of online business. I'm working for these info product business and you see how it's ran. And I mean, especially being a part of a good team,
Yep.
you're close with the CEO. So you can definitely get the feedback and understand how things are for somebody like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you see it's possible. I mean, there's plenty of people online or people that you work with that are doing exactly what you want to do, but you just have to put in your time to get to that. I can't make the mistake of thinking I could just first program come out and build a business because you can't do that. You have to stack your skills, you have to understand how to actually do it, and then you can do it one day. But I'm hoping as an appointment setter now. I mentioned that I was gonna start closing in the next few months, which is gonna be great for the process. I'll get the skills of,
You'll learn so much more.
oh,
We're just
dude,
getting started.
seriously, I've got the appointment setting skills. I'm gonna go to closing and build that skill. And then who knows, I'll be a scaling operator and help other businesses do exactly what I'm doing for my guy. And yeah, it all just kind of it's one foot in front of the other, really, when it
Yep.
comes to stacking your skills.
100%, 100%. And kind of like last question here, what would you say to somebody who is like maybe like a younger version of you? Maybe they've tried a couple different business models, maybe they're not fully aware of the fact that you need to build skills to make money and stuff like that. Somebody who's
Mhm.
watching this video right now who may be thinking of getting started with me, trying out the program, or is maybe on the fence, like what would you say to them?
Yeah, you have got to be a process driven individual. You cannot be a results driven individual, or else you're going to quit after 4 months. Like you don't see the 10K that you're promised in 30 days. And it's so easy to just be like, oh, well, this isn't real, and that's why you have so many people saying that like these online courses and things are scams because they
Yeah,
tried it for 10 days and they're like, oh, this doesn't work. Like, what do you expect? You can't go in thinking that that's going to happen. It's just not real. You
right.
have to really put in the work and the time. And if you're chasing the process of becoming the individual that you need to be, the money's just going to be a byproduct down the road. And I always say skills before the bills. Like you have to stack the skills first before you stack your money. It's simple as that.
Yeah, 100%, man. Skills pay the bills.
Yeah, yeah.
That should be your slogan
I
when you
know,
start your own
right?
business. Well, awesome, man. Thank you so much for hopping on. Hopefully, you guys on YouTube got some value out of this interview and just you were able to see a real transformation of somebody who is not all the way there yet, but they're slowly getting there and they will get there. It's just going to take some time. And like Jared said, becoming the person worthy through building skills, experiences, and whatnot. And if you guys are interested in joining the program, you can find a link below to book a call with me. You and I can dice it up, see where you're at, see if you'd be a good fit, see what your goals are, and then based on what we talk about, if it makes sense, I'll talk a little bit more about how I can help. If not, I'll point you in the right direction with some free resources. But other than that, you guys take care. Jared, thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah,
And
thank you, man.
yeah, take care.